Force yourself to be disciplined. How to build consistent habits and take control of your life. Love listening the stories and learning through audiobooks? Subscribe to our YouTube channel and enjoy inspiring English audiobooks that help you improve your listening skills and vocabulary anytime, anywhere. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss a new story. Listen, learn, grow. Chapter 1. The Truth About Discipline. Most people dream of success. They want to be fit, wealthy, confident, and respected. They make plans, set goals, and write to-do lists. But when the excitement fades, most of them stop. Why? Because motivation is temporary, and discipline is not. Discipline is the quiet force behind every great achievement. It's not glamorous, it's not loud. You don't see it in the highlight reels of social media. But if you look closely at anyone who has built something great, an athlete, an artist, a business leader, a teacher, a parent, you'll see one thing in common. They mastered discipline. What discipline really is. Discipline is not punishment. It's not about forcing yourself to suffer. True discipline means doing what must be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's the ability to control your emotions, thoughts, and actions in the service of something bigger than your comfort. Think of discipline as a promise you make to yourself, a promise that says, "I will not quit, no matter how I feel today." When you're tired, discipline tells you to keep going. When you're bored, it reminds you why you started. When things get hard, discipline whispers, "Push through, you're almost there." Discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. Motivation fades, discipline remains. Most people wait until they feel ready to take action. They say things like, "I'll start when I feel motivated. I'll go to the gym when I have more energy. I'll study when I'm in the right mood." But those moments rarely come. Motivation depends on emotion, and emotions change every day. You might feel strong one morning and weak the next. You can't build your life on something so unstable. Discipline doesn't care about mood. It's not about feeling, it's about commitment. You do what you said you would do, no matter how you feel. Motivation is what gets you started. Discipline is what keeps you going. The hidden freedom inside discipline. Many people see discipline as a form of restriction. They think being disciplined means losing freedom. But the truth is the opposite. Discipline creates freedom. Imagine a musician. To play beautifully, they must practice daily. To others, that looks like hard work. But for the musician, that daily discipline allows them to express themselves freely on stage. The effort creates art. The structure creates freedom. The same happens in every area of life. When you control your spending, you gain financial freedom. When you eat with discipline, you gain energy and health. When you work consistently, you gain success and confidence. Freedom without discipline leads to chaos. Discipline creates order, and order leads to peace. The cost of indiscipline. Now think about what happens when there's no discipline. You hit the snooze button again and again. You promise to start your project tomorrow. You make excuses for why it's not the right time. Slowly, your goals fade into the background. The result? You feel guilty. You lose confidence. You stop trusting yourself. Indiscipline isn't just about being lazy. It's a silent form of self-betrayal. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you weaken your self-belief. And when you no longer believe in your own words, you stop trying. That's why discipline isn't just about achieving goals. It's about building character. It's about becoming the kind of person who keeps their word. Discipline is a skill, not a gift. Some people believe that disciplined people were born that way. They think others have a special strength they don't. But that's not true. Discipline is a skill, something you learn and train over time. At first, it's hard. Your mind resists change. You'll feel discomfort, boredom, and frustration. But if you push through the first days, it gets easier. Like a muscle, your discipline grows stronger every time you use it. Every act of self-control, big or small, builds your inner power. Getting out of bed when the alarm rings, finishing your work before relaxing, saying no to distractions, choosing progress over comfort. Each small victory teaches your mind, I am in control. The enemy within. The biggest enemy of discipline isn't outside of you. It's within. It's the voice that says, just 5 more minutes. You've worked hard enough. You deserve a break. You can do it tomorrow. That voice wants comfort, not growth. It wants safety, not challenge. But the life you want is on the other side of that resistance. Every time you ignore that voice and take action anyway, you win. You become stronger, clearer, and more confident. You stop being a prisoner of your emotions and become the master of your destiny. The discipline equation. Here's a simple formula to remember. Discipline equals consistency plus purpose plus patience. Consistency means showing up every day, not just when it's easy. Purpose gives meaning to your effort. It reminds you why it's worth it. Patience helps you stay calm when progress feels slow. Combine these 3 and you can achieve almost anything. The reward of self-respect. The greatest reward of discipline is not success, it's self-respect. When you live with discipline, you start to trust yourself again. You look in the mirror and feel proud because you know you're doing your best. You stop making excuses. You stop blaming others. You start taking ownership of your life. That's when real transformation happens. Not when you reach your goals, but when you become the kind of person who never gives up. A new definition of success. Success is not about being lucky, talented, or rich. It's about being consistent. Doing the right things day after day, even when no one is watching. Every great achievement started with small, disciplined steps. The writer who writes 1 page a day. The athlete who trains in the rain. The student who studies while others sleep. The entrepreneur who keeps building after failure. They all share the same truth. Discipline beats talent when talent lacks discipline. Practical steps to start today. You don't need to change everything at once. Start small. Discipline grows through action. Here are simple steps to begin. Choose one small area. Wake up early, exercise, read daily, or limit phone use. Commit for 7 days. No excuses, no skipping. Track your progress. Write it down each night. Reward yourself, not with junk or laziness, but with pride and gratitude. Repeat. After 1 week, make it 2, then 3. You'll notice something powerful. It gets easier. You start to crave progress instead of comfort. Final thought. The power is already in you. You don't need to find discipline. It's already inside you. You just need to unlock it. Every time you act with discipline, you awaken a stronger version of yourself. Discipline is not your enemy. It's your greatest ally. It's the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. So from this moment on, make yourself a promise. I will do what needs to be done, whether I feel like it or not. That's the truth about discipline. And once you live by it, everything in your life will begin to change. Chapter 2. Why Motivation Isn't Enough. At some point, you've probably felt a sudden burst of motivation. Maybe you watched an inspiring video, read a quote, or listened to someone's success story. In that moment, you felt unstoppable, ready to change your life, start a new routine, and finally do what you've been avoiding. But after a few days, the energy disappeared. You went back to old habits, you missed your workouts, or gave up on your plans. You wondered, what happened? The answer is simple. Motivation fades, but discipline stays. The illusion of motivation. Motivation feels powerful because it creates excitement. It gives you a temporary emotional high, like a spark that starts a fire. But sparks die fast unless you feed them with fuel. Motivation depends on how you feel, and feelings are always changing. One day you feel confident, the next you feel tired. One day you want to work hard, the next you want to rest. If you depend only on motivation, your actions will rise and fall with your emotions. You'll move forward when you feel good and stop when you don't. That's why so many people start strong but never finish. True success doesn't come from short bursts of inspiration. It comes from consistent action, even when the spark is gone. That's where discipline takes over. The cycle of excitement and failure. Let's look at a common example. Someone decides to get in shape. They feel inspired, buy gym clothes, and promise to exercise every day. For the first week, everything feels great. They enjoy the new energy and tell everyone about their goals. But then it rains one morning, or they sleep late, or they feel sore. They tell themselves, "I'll go tomorrow." Then they skip again. Soon the excitement fades. The clothes sit unused. The person feels disappointed, thinking they lost motivation. But they didn't lose motivation, they never built discipline. Motivation is like a visitor who knocks on your door now and then. Discipline is the one who lives with you every single day. Motivation is the idea, the dream of having your own place. Discipline is the daily effort of laying one brick at a time. If you wait for motivation every morning, you'll never finish the house. But if you show up daily, even on bad days, the walls will rise, slowly but surely. That's how every great result is built, through small, consistent actions that don't depend on emotion. Why the brain loves comfort. Your brain is designed to protect you from pain and discomfort. It always looks for the easiest path to save energy, avoid effort, and stay safe. That's why you naturally prefer comfort over challenge. Motivation doesn't change that. It only hides it for a while. When the excitement fades, your brain starts whispering, "Why are you doing this? You deserve a rest. It's not worth it today." That's when most people quit. They think they've failed because they lost motivation, but really they just met resistance and didn't have the discipline to push through it. The people who keep going are not more motivated, they're simply more disciplined. They act even when their brain says stop. The power of action before feeling. Here's a secret that successful people know. You don't need to feel good to take action, but taking action makes you feel good. Most people wait until they feel ready. They think emotions must come first. But discipline flips that rule. It says, act first, feelings will follow. For example, don't wait to feel motivated to work out. Start exercising, and motivation will appear after a few minutes. Don't wait to feel focused to study. Start reading one page, and your focus will grow. Don't wait to feel inspired to write. Write one sentence, and inspiration will come. Discipline teaches you that action creates emotion, not the other way around. Motivation is about results. Discipline is about process. Motivation focuses on outcomes. You imagine the success, the strong body, the new job, the finished project. You feel excited about the result, not the work itself. Discipline focuses on the process. It doesn't chase the final goal. It focuses on the daily action. You don't think about the entire mountain, just the next step. When you love the process, success becomes natural. You don't ask, "How long will this take?" You just show up. You trust that every small effort matters. That's why disciplined people often seem calm. They're not rushing or chasing motivation. They simply follow their routine. And that's what leads to mastery. How to move from motivation to discipline. You can't depend on motivation, but you can train discipline. Here's how. 1. Create a clear routine. When you have structure, you don't need to think about what to do next. You just follow the plan. Make your tasks automatic. Same time, same place, every day. Routine removes the need for motivation. 2. Focus on small wins. Start with small, easy actions. If you want to read more, start with one page. If you want to exercise, start with 5 minutes. Each small win builds confidence and momentum. 3. Track your progress. Write down what you do every day. Even a simple check mark on a calendar keeps your mind engaged. When you see progress, you'll want to continue. 4. Build accountability. Tell someone about your goals or share your progress. It's easier to quit on yourself than to quit in front of others. Accountability turns effort into a promise. 5. Accept boredom. The biggest secret of discipline. Learn to work without excitement. Not every day will be fun, but consistency matters more than passion. When you can act without emotion, you become unstoppable. The emotional trap. Motivation often tricks you. It makes you feel like you're progressing just because you're thinking about change. You watch a video, feel inspired, and your brain releases dopamine, a feel-good chemical. But no real progress has happened. You only felt it. That's the danger, chasing the feeling instead of the result. Discipline, on the other hand, doesn't feel exciting. It's quiet, steady, and sometimes boring. But that's why it works. It's not based on emotion, it's based on action. Success belongs to those who choose discipline over excitement. Discipline is freedom. It may sound strange, but the more disciplined you are, the freer you become. When you depend on motivation, your emotions control your life. You can't choose when to act, you wait until you feel like it. But when you're disciplined, you act whenever it's necessary. You become the one in control. Discipline gives you freedom from mood, laziness, and self-doubt. You don't need to wait for the right time. You make it right. You don't need to feel inspired. You become the inspiration. The real meaning of strength. Strength is not lifting heavy weights or shouting powerful words. True strength is doing what must be done even when no one sees you and you don't feel like doing it. The strongest people are often the quietest ones, those who wake up early, stay focused, and keep their promises without needing applause. They don't wait for motivation, they move because they've built inner power. That's the power of discipline, silent, stable, and unshakable. Final thought: be your own motivation. Motivation can help you start, but don't depend on it. You don't need another video, another quote, or another speech. Everything you need is already inside you. Start acting before you feel ready. Keep going when it's boring. Push through when it's hard. Because when motivation disappears, discipline begins, and that's where success truly starts. Chapter 3: The Power of Routine. Every morning, the most successful people in the world start their day almost the same way. They wake up early, follow a plan, and move with purpose. To others, it may look boring, but to them, it's freedom. What makes them so consistent? The answer is simple: routine. Routine is not just a schedule, it's the structure that keeps your life in order when your mind wants to give up. It's the system that carries you forward when motivation runs out. If discipline is the engine, routine is the road that guides it. Why routine matters. Every day you make hundreds of decisions: what to wear, what to eat, when to start work, whether to exercise or not. Each decision uses mental energy. That's why by the end of the day you often feel tired, lazy, or unfocused. Your brain is overloaded. A routine solves this problem. It removes unnecessary decisions and creates clarity. When you know what to do and when to do it, your mind becomes free to focus on what truly matters. That's why disciplined people don't waste time choosing. They just follow their system. They don't ask, "Should I go to the gym today?" They go because it's part of their day, like brushing their teeth. Routine makes action automatic. That's the magic of routine. It turns discipline from a fight into a flow. The morning routine, setting the tone. How you start your day shapes everything that follows. A chaotic morning creates a chaotic mind. A calm, organized morning builds confidence and control. That's why the best routines begin early, before the world demands your attention. You don't need a complicated plan. Even a simple 30-minute routine can change your day. Here's an example. Wake up early. Don't rush. Give yourself time before the world wakes up. Drink water and stretch. Start your body. Spend 5 minutes in silence. Breathe, pray, or reflect. Review your goals. Remind yourself what you're working toward. Do one productive task. Read, write, or exercise before checking your phone. By the time most people are still half awake, you've already built momentum. That early victory creates energy for the whole day. The evening routine, ending with intention. How you end your day matters as much as how you start it. A strong evening routine helps you rest, reflect, and prepare for tomorrow. Here's a simple example. Disconnect from screens 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Reflect on your day. What did you do well? What can you improve? Write tomorrow's plan. Decide your top 3 priorities. Gratitude moment. Write one thing you're thankful for. This routine calms your mind, improves your sleep, and gives you a sense of control. You wake up ready, not confused. How routine builds discipline. Every time you follow your routine, even when you don't feel like it, you strengthen your discipline muscle. Routine trains your mind to act without hesitation. Instead of waiting for motivation, you rely on your system. You start realizing something powerful. I don't need to feel ready. I just need to follow my routine. That's how elite athletes train. That's how writers finish books. That's how successful people stay consistent for years. Their secret is not motivation, it's the rhythm of routine. When routine feels boring, let's be honest, routine can feel boring sometimes. Doing the same thing every day might seem repetitive, but boredom is not your enemy. It's a test of your discipline. When you can keep going even when it's boring, you become unstoppable. Remember, progress is not always exciting. It's often slow and quiet, but small daily actions create big results over time. Don't chase excitement, chase consistency. Flexibility inside routine. Being disciplined doesn't mean being rigid. Your routine should serve your life, not control it. If something unexpected happens, adjust. Don't quit. The key is balance. Structure gives you direction, flexibility keeps you human. A strong routine has room for rest, joy, and creativity. It's not about perfection, it's about rhythm. Think of it like music. A song has structure, but it also flows. That's how your daily life should feel. How to build a routine that sticks. Here's a step-by-step method to design your own powerful routine. Number 1. Start small. Don't try to change everything at once. Pick 1 or 2 habits you want to include, maybe reading in the morning or exercising after work. Number 2. Choose a specific time. Set a clear time and stick to it. Example, I'll exercise at 7 a.m. is stronger than I'll exercise sometime in the morning. Number 3. Connect it to an existing habit. Attach your new routine to something you already do. Example, after brushing my teeth, I'll meditate for 5 minutes. This creates a natural reminder. Number 4. Make it easy. Remove obstacles. Lay out your workout clothes the night before. Keep your book beside your bed. Prepare your environment to support your goal. Number 5. Track and reward. Each time you follow your routine, mark it on a calendar or journal. Celebrate your consistency, even with something simple like saying, "Well done." Progress feels good, and that feeling keeps you moving. Common mistakes to avoid. Doing too much too soon. Don't overload yourself. Start small and grow slowly. Being unrealistic. Don't copy someone else's routine. Build one that fits your life and energy. Skipping after one failure. Everyone misses a day sometimes. The key is to restart immediately. Don't let one mistake become a habit. Forgetting rest. Discipline includes recovery. A good routine balances effort and rest, not constant pressure. Routine builds identity. Here's the most powerful part. When you follow your routine long enough, it stops being something you do. It becomes who you are. You stop saying, "I'm trying to be disciplined." You start saying, "I'm a disciplined person." And once your identity changes, your behavior becomes natural. You no longer fight yourself every day, you simply live the way you've trained yourself to live. That's the true power of routine. It shapes your identity. Final thought. Make routine your superpower. Discipline gives you strength. Routine gives that strength direction. Your routine is the silent structure that keeps your life in motion, a system that transforms effort into progress and progress into success. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need a simple, repeatable system that you follow every day, no excuses. Because at the end of the day, success is not about doing everything once. It's about doing the right things again and again and again. So design your routine, follow it with patience, and watch how your life begins to rise, one disciplined day at a time. Chapter 4. The Mindset of Self-Control. Every battle you fight in life begins in one place, your mind. Your success, your failures, your habits, your emotions, they all start with a single thought. If you can't control your mind, it will control you. If you don't rule your emotions, they will rule your actions. That's why self-control is the foundation of true discipline. The war within. There are two voices inside you every day. The first one is the voice of comfort. It says, "Take it easy. You can do it later. It's not that important." It wants safety, pleasure, and ease. It hates effort. The second one is the voice of growth. It says, "Do it now. You can handle this. Keep going." It wants progress, mastery, and meaning. Every day, these two voices fight for control. The one you listen to most becomes your master. Self-control means choosing the voice of growth, not once, but every day. Emotions are messengers, not masters. Most people believe their emotions are commands. I feel tired, so I won't go. I feel angry, so I'll shout. I feel sad, so I'll give up. But feelings are not orders, they're signals. They tell you how you feel in the moment, not what you must do. Self-control means noticing emotions without obeying them. You can feel lazy and still work. You can feel afraid and still act. You can feel unmotivated and still move forward. You are not your feelings. You are the one who decides what to do with them. The power of pause. Strong people are not those who never feel angry, sad, or frustrated. They're the ones who pause before reacting. That short pause, even 2 or 3 seconds, is the difference between control and chaos. When someone insults you, the pause stops you from reacting with anger. When you're tired, the pause helps you remember your goals before quitting. When you feel tempted, the pause gives you a chance to think about the long-term consequences. Self-control is not about suppressing emotion, it's about mastering response. You can't always control what happens, but you can always control how you respond. Train your mind like a muscle. Your mind is like your body. It becomes stronger through training and repetition. If you never practice self-control, your impulses will dominate you. Every time you resist a distraction, delay a reward, or act with patience, you're training your mental muscle. Examples: you want to check your phone, but you stay focused. You want to skip your workout, but you go anyway. You want to argue, but you choose silence. Each small act strengthens your mental discipline. Over time, what was once difficult becomes natural. Self-control grows through practice, not through perfection. The mind creates the reality. Whatever you believe becomes your truth. If you think you're weak, you'll act weak. If you think you're strong, you'll act strong. The mind doesn't question your beliefs. It simply obeys them. That's why disciplined people guard their thoughts carefully. They don't say, "I can't." They say, "How can I?" They don't say, "It's too hard." They say, "I'm getting stronger." They replace self-doubt with self-command. Your mind will follow the instructions you give it. So feed it strength, not weakness. Mastering impulse. The world today trains you to live on impulse, to want everything fast, easy, and now. Instant food, instant entertainment, instant gratification. But here's the truth. The easier life becomes, the weaker people get. Discipline is the opposite of impulse. It's the ability to delay pleasure for a bigger reward later. When you learn to say, "not now," you gain control over your life. That's how great athletes train for years before a championship, how entrepreneurs work for months without income, how writers spend weeks on one chapter. They choose patience over pleasure. They live by vision, not emotion. Change your self-talk. The words you say to yourself matter. They shape your mood, your confidence, and your actions. Negative self-talk is the enemy of discipline. It whispers, "You'll fail anyway. You're not good enough. Why bother trying?" But you can reprogram your mind with new commands. Speak to yourself like a coach, not a critic. Say things like, "I'm capable of more. I'm learning every day. I can handle this." The more you repeat empowering thoughts, the more your brain believes them. And when your belief changes, your behavior follows. Silence the noise. We live in a noisy world, full of distractions, opinions, and comparisons. You see other people's lives online and start to doubt your own. But discipline grows in silence. It's built in quiet rooms, early mornings, and moments when no one is watching. To strengthen self-control, you need mental space, time to think, reflect, and focus on your own path. Try spending 10 minutes a day in silence. No phone, no talking, just breathing and observing your thoughts. This simple habit teaches your mind to calm down and obey your direction. When your mind is quiet, your control becomes stronger. Focus on the long game. People who lack self-control think in minutes. Disciplined people think in years. When you focus only on short-term pleasure, you sacrifice long-term success. But when you think long-term, temporary pain becomes easier to handle. You start saying things like, "I can skip this comfort because I'm building something bigger. I'll work hard now so I can enjoy freedom later." Self-control is not about punishment. It's about choosing your future over your feelings. Don't let stress control you. Stress, fear, and anxiety are natural, but they often make people lose control. They react instead of responding. Here's a powerful technique. Breathe before you act. When you feel overwhelmed, take a deep breath. In for 4 seconds, out for 4 seconds. This simple act slows your heartbeat and clears your mind. Then ask yourself, what action aligns with my goals right now? This question brings you back to focus and helps you act with clarity instead of emotion. The power of self-respect. When you keep your promises to yourself, you build trust with your own mind. That trust becomes self-respect. But when you keep breaking your word, skipping commitments, quitting easily, or giving in to emotion, you lose respect for yourself. The more self-respect you have, the more self-control you gain. You start acting from strength, not weakness. You stop chasing comfort and start chasing growth. Self-control, at its core, is a form of self-respect. It says, "I am in charge of me." Practical exercises to strengthen self-control. Delay gratification daily. Choose one small thing each day to delay: coffee, phone scrolling, or snacks. This trains your brain to wait and obey. Journal your triggers. Write down moments when you lose control, what happened, how you felt, and how you can respond better next time. Use if-then planning. Example, if I feel tired after work, then I'll walk for 10 minutes before resting. Planning gives you control before temptation strikes. Set boundaries. Limit time with distractions or negative people. Protect your focus and your energy. Reward self-control. Celebrate when you resist temptation. This builds positive reinforcement. Final thought: the master of your mind. The most powerful person in the world is not the one who controls others. It's the one who controls themselves. Self-control is not about being perfect. It's about being aware of your impulses, emotions, and choices, and choosing wisely every time. When your mind obeys you, nothing can stop you. Your emotions become tools, not traps. Your thoughts become allies, not enemies. And that's when you discover true freedom, the kind that comes from being the master of your own mind. Chapter 5. Breaking Free from Excuses. Every person has dreams, but only a few turn those dreams into reality. What separates them? Not talent, not luck, but the ability to stop making excuses. Excuses are the invisible chains that keep people from moving forward. They sound harmless, even reasonable, but they destroy growth, confidence, and opportunity. To become disciplined, you must first destroy your excuses. The comfort of excuses. Excuses make you feel safe. They protect your ego from failure. When you say, "I don't have time, I'm too tired, it's not the right moment," you create a story that makes failure feel okay. It's a way to escape responsibility without feeling guilty. But here's the truth: excuses are lies you tell yourself to stay comfortable. They don't protect you, they imprison you. The truth about time. "I don't have time" is one of the biggest lies people tell. Everyone on earth has the same 24 hours in a day, the same time that great leaders, athletes, and creators use to achieve greatness. It's not about time, it's about priority. When something truly matters, you find time. When it doesn't, you find an excuse. You can't say, "I don't have time to work out," while watching 2 hours of TV. You can't say, "I don't have time to read," while scrolling your phone for hours. The truth is, you always have time. You just choose where to spend it. And those choices define your life. Excuses come from fear. Excuses are often born from fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of change. It's easier to say, "I'm not ready," than to admit, "I'm scared." It's easier to say, "It's too late," than to admit, "I don't believe in myself." But fear loses its power when you face it directly. Discipline means doing what you fear until it becomes familiar. It means taking action even when you don't feel ready. Because the truth is, you will never feel fully ready. Growth begins when you stop waiting for perfect conditions and start moving anyway. Responsibility is freedom. Weak people blame everything: their parents, their boss, the government, bad luck, the weather. Strong people take responsibility. Taking responsibility doesn't mean everything is your fault. It means you accept that your response is always your choice. When you take responsibility, you gain power. You stop waiting for others to fix your life. You stop being a victim. You say to yourself, "I may not control everything that happens to me, but I control how I respond, and that's enough." This mindset transforms problems into lessons and failures into fuel. The victim trap. Victims blame. Leaders act. Victims say, "It's unfair. I can't help it. Someone should fix this." Leaders say, "It's my responsibility. I'll find a way. I can learn from this." When you stop seeing yourself as a victim, you start living as the author of your story. You become the one in charge of your path. Excuses make you powerless. Responsibility makes you unstoppable. Replace excuses with action. Next time you hear your mind making excuses, stop and ask, what can I do right now, even a small step, to move forward? Maybe you can't do everything, but you can always do something. Action kills excuses. Examples: too tired to exercise? Do 10 minutes instead of none. No money to start a project? Learn for free online. No motivation to study? Read just one page. When you act, you build momentum. When you wait for perfect conditions, you stay stuck. Start small, stay consistent. Excuses fade when you move forward. The hidden cost of excuses. Every excuse you make steals something from you. It steals time. It steals opportunities. It steals confidence. Each time you avoid responsibility, you tell your mind, "I can't," and your brain starts to believe it. Soon, you no longer need excuses because you've already accepted defeat inside. But when you take ownership and act, even in small ways, you tell your brain, "I can." That belief grows stronger every day until it becomes part of who you are. Stop waiting for motivation. Many people say, "I'll start when I feel motivated." But motivation is not a beginning. It's a result. It comes after you start, not before. If you wait for motivation, you'll wait forever. Discipline means doing what you should do even when you don't feel like it. Once you start, energy and motivation follow. Action creates emotion, not the other way around. So the next time your mind says, "I don't feel like it," reply, "That's fine, I'll do it anyway." That's how winners think. The why behind excuses. Every excuse hides a truth. Find that truth, and you can destroy the excuse. For example, "I don't have time." You don't value it enough. "I'm not ready." You're afraid of failing. "I can't do it." You doubt your strength. When you identify the real reason, you can fix it. Awareness creates freedom. Excuses disappear when you shine light on them. Change "I can't" to "how can I?" Language is powerful. Your words shape your possibilities. When you say, "I can't," your brain shuts down. It stops looking for solutions. But when you ask, "How can I?" your brain starts working. "I can't save money" becomes, "How can I reduce my expenses?" "I can't focus" becomes, "How can I make my environment quieter?" "I can't wake up early" becomes, "How can I make it easier to get up?" This small change in language opens the door to progress. Disciplined people don't say, "I can't." They ask, "How can I?" Excuses and identity. Every excuse strengthens a weak identity. Every disciplined action builds a strong one. You become what you repeatedly do. If you make excuses daily, you become the kind of person who avoids responsibility. If you take action daily, you become the kind of person who makes things happen. Identity is not found. It's built choice by choice. Ask yourself, do I want to be the kind of person who finds excuses or the kind who finds solutions? The mirror of honesty. One of the hardest things you can do is be completely honest with yourself. Look in the mirror and ask, what am I avoiding? What story am I telling to justify my lack of action? Honesty hurts, but it also heals. Once you see your excuses clearly, they lose their power. You can't fight an enemy you refuse to see. The mirror never lies. Use it as your teacher. Turn excuses into energy. Every time you catch yourself making an excuse, turn that energy into action. For example, instead of saying, "I'm too tired," say, "I'll start small." Instead of saying, "It's too late," say, "Now is better than never." Instead of saying, "I failed before," say, "This time I'll do better." This shift transforms weakness into power. Excuses waste energy. Action uses it wisely. Final thought. No more lies. Discipline starts with honesty. You can't build a strong life on weak excuses. You can't grow while hiding behind fear. You can't lead if you refuse to take responsibility. The moment you stop lying to yourself, your whole life changes. You realize that no one is coming to save you, but you don't need anyone to. You are capable. You are responsible. You are in control. Every day tell yourself this truth: I have no excuses, only choices. And when you start living by that truth, you'll find freedom, strength, and purpose waiting for you on the other side. Chapter 6. The Power of Consistency. Discipline begins with one choice, but success is built through repeated choices, made every day, no matter how small they seem. That's what consistency is. It's not about doing something once. It's about doing it again and again until it becomes who you are. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they stop showing up. Consistency doesn't demand perfection. It only asks you to keep going. Consistency beats intensity. Many people start strong, but fade quickly. They get excited for a few days, then lose motivation. They train hard for a week, then stop for a month. They study for hours one day, then skip the rest of the week. That's not discipline, that's emotion. Consistency is different. It's the quiet, patient force that builds greatness slowly. It's not about doing a lot once. It's about doing a little every single day. Because small actions repeated daily create massive results over time. As the saying goes, it's not what we do once in a while that shapes our lives, but what we do consistently. Why consistency matters. Consistency builds habits. Habits build identity. Identity builds destiny. Each time you follow through on a commitment, no matter how small, you send a message to your brain. This is who I am. If you exercise every morning, your mind begins to believe, I'm a person who takes care of my body. If you study daily, your mind learns, I'm someone who values growth. If you write every night, your brain accepts, I'm a writer. The more consistent you are, the stronger your identity becomes until discipline feels natural. Motivation starts you, consistency keeps you. Motivation is a spark. Consistency is the fuel that keeps the fire burning. You don't need to feel inspired every day. You just need to show up, even when you don't feel like it. Some days, you'll feel powerful. Other days, you'll feel tired, bored, or uninspired. But discipline means doing the work anyway. The truth is simple. If you only work when you feel like it, you'll never achieve anything great. The magic of small wins. Big goals can feel overwhelming. That's why many people quit. They want to change everything overnight, and when it doesn't happen fast, they give up. But discipline understands the secret of small wins. You don't climb a mountain by jumping to the top. You take one step at a time. You don't write a book in a day. You write one page, then another. You don't master a skill overnight. You practice a little every day. Every small action builds confidence, and confidence creates momentum. Consistency builds trust with yourself. When you keep your promises, You build self-trust. That trust is the foundation of discipline. Every time you follow through, you prove to yourself that your word matters. Every time you quit, you teach yourself that your word is weak. So, when you commit to something, follow through, not because someone is watching, but because you are. Trust is not built in grand moments. It's built in the quiet repetition of small actions. The compound effect. Consistency works like compound interest. Small daily actions multiply over time. If you improve by just 1% each day, that's not much in the moment. But after 1 year, that's 37 times better than when you started. Tiny changes multiplied by time create transformation. Skipping 1 day feels harmless, but repeated often, it becomes a habit of quitting. Doing one small thing feels pointless, but repeated often, it becomes mastery. Discipline understands this truth. Results are the reward of consistency, not intensity. How to build consistency. Here are simple steps to help you become more consistent. Start small. Don't try to change everything at once. Start with one habit, something you can actually maintain. Example, instead of 1 hour of exercise, begin with 10 minutes daily. Set a time. Do your habit at the same time every day. This builds rhythm and helps your brain remember. Track your progress. Use a notebook or app to check off each day you complete your task. Seeing your progress motivates you to continue. Never miss twice. Missing once is human. Missing twice is a choice. If you fall off 1 day, get back the next. Reward consistency. Celebrate progress, not perfection. Reward yourself when you keep a streak going. It strengthens the habit. Fight the boredom. One of the biggest enemies of consistency is boredom. After the excitement fades, routine begins to feel dull. But here's the secret. Success often feels boring. The best athletes, artists, and leaders do the same things every day. They don't chase excitement, they chase progress. Discipline means doing what matters even when it's no longer exciting. It's the ability to find pride in the repetition. If you get bored, remind yourself, repetition is the price of mastery. Consistency and patience. Many people are consistent for a short time, but lose patience when results don't appear quickly. They say, "I've been trying for a month. Why haven't I succeeded yet?" But true progress takes time. You can't rush growth. You can only stay faithful to the process. Think of a seed. You water it every day, but you don't see results right away. Then 1 day it breaks through the soil because you kept going when nothing was visible. Discipline is the same. You may not see the reward today, but every small effort counts. Stay committed, not perfect. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to stay committed. There will be days you miss, fail, or fall behind. That's normal. The key is not to let one mistake turn into a habit. Forgive yourself quickly and get back on track immediately. Consistency is not about never falling, it's about never staying down. Protect your routine. Your environment can destroy or support your consistency. Protect your focus from distractions. Turn off notifications. Avoid negative influences. Keep your tools ready, your notebook, workout clothes, or workspace. Make it easy to stay consistent and hard to quit. Remember, self-discipline grows in environments that support focus. Consistency builds confidence. When you stay consistent, something amazing happens. You begin to believe in yourself again. You no longer depend on luck or motivation. You trust your own effort. Confidence doesn't come from saying, "I can." It comes from proving it through repeated action. The more consistent you are, the more powerful you feel. The price and reward of consistency. Consistency demands patience, focus, and sacrifice. It's not always fun. It's not always fast. But it gives you something priceless: control over your destiny. While others quit, you endure. While others start over, you move forward. And one day, your results will look like luck to those who never saw your daily effort. But you'll know the truth. It was never luck. It was consistency. Final thought: keep showing up. The most disciplined people in the world aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who never stop showing up. You don't need to be the fastest, the smartest, or the strongest. You just need to be the one who keeps going. Every day you show up, you get better. Every day you keep going, you grow stronger. Every day you stay consistent, you move closer to success. And one day, you'll look back and realize that what once felt impossible became inevitable because you never stopped showing up. Chapter 7. Mastering Your Habits. Your life is not decided by one big moment. It's built by small choices repeated every day. Those choices become habits, and your habits shape your future. If you want to change your life, you must change what you do daily, because in the end, your habits create your destiny. What are habits? A habit is something you do automatically, often without thinking. It's a behavior that your brain has learned through repetition. For example, you brush your teeth every morning without effort. You check your phone as soon as you wake up. You reach for a snack when you're bored. These actions don't take willpower because your brain runs them on autopilot. The goal of discipline is to train your autopilot, to make good habits automatic and bad habits hard to do. The power of small habits. Many people believe success comes from massive effort or sudden change, but that's rarely true. Real success is the result of tiny improvements done consistently over time. If you improve just a little each day, your focus, your diet, your mindset, the effects multiply. As author James Clear said, habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. Small, smart choices lead to big, lasting results. Your habits define you. You don't decide your future, you decide your habits, and your habits decide your future. If you have strong, positive habits, success becomes natural. If you have weak, destructive habits, failure becomes inevitable. Want to be healthy? Build the habit of daily exercise and good food. Want to be confident? Build the habit of speaking positively to yourself. Want to be successful? Build the habit of focus and persistence. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. How habits work. The habit loop. Every habit has 3 parts: a cue, a routine, and a reward. Cue, the trigger that starts the behavior. Example: you feel bored. Routine, the action you take. Example: you grab your phone and scroll. Reward, the feeling you get afterward. Example: you feel entertained or distracted. Your brain learns that the cue leads to pleasure, so it repeats the cycle automatically. To change a habit, you don't need to fight your willpower. You need to change the cue or the routine. Building a new habit. Here's how to create strong, lasting habits step by step. Start small. Begin with something so easy you can't say no. Example, instead of read 1 hour, start with read 1 page. Attach it to an existing habit. Connect your new habit to something you already do. Example, after I brush my teeth, I'll read 1 page. Make it visible. Keep reminders in sight. A book on your bed, workout clothes near the door, a water bottle on your desk. Reward yourself. Celebrate small wins. This helps your brain link the habit with pleasure. Be consistent. Repetition is more important than intensity. Do it every day, even if it's short. Habits are built through frequency, not perfection. Breaking bad habits. Bad habits don't disappear. They must be replaced. You can't simply stop doing something. You have to redirect the energy into something better. Here's how to weaken a bad habit. Make it invisible. Remove the cue. If junk food is a problem, don't keep it in the house. Make it unattractive. Remind yourself of the negative effects. Visualize the pain it causes over time. Make it difficult. Add steps between you and the habit. For example, delete social media apps or use website blockers. Replace it. Find a healthier action for the same cue. Example, instead of scrolling when stressed, go for a walk or breathe deeply. Habits don't vanish, they transform. The role of environment. Your environment is more powerful than your motivation. If you surround yourself with distractions, you'll fail. If you surround yourself with support, you'll grow. Want to eat healthier? Keep fruit on the table and hide junk food. Want to read more? Place books where you can see them. Want to wake up early? Keep your alarm away from your bed. Don't rely on willpower. Design your environment to support your habits. Identity-based habits. Most people try to change their habits by focusing on outcomes. I want to lose weight. I want to quit smoking. I want to be more productive. But lasting change comes from focusing on identity, not outcomes. Ask yourself, who do I want to become? If your answer is a healthy person, then every small action that supports that identity, walking, drinking water, sleeping early, reinforces it. Instead of saying, I'm trying to quit, say, I don't smoke. Instead of saying, I want to write, say, I'm a writer. You become what you repeatedly do, but you also do what you repeatedly believe you are. The power of routine. Habits create rhythm. Rhythm creates stability. A strong daily routine is a disciplined person's secret weapon. It eliminates decision fatigue. You no longer waste energy deciding what to do next. You simply follow your structure. Morning routines, for example, set the tone for your entire day. Evening routines help you reflect, recharge, and prepare for tomorrow. Design your routine to serve your goals and protect it like something sacred. Be patient with the process. Habits take time to form. On average, it takes about 66 days for a new habit to become automatic. In the beginning, you'll need willpower. Later, it becomes easier. Most people quit too early, right before the habit becomes natural. But if you stay consistent long enough, discipline becomes effortless. Remember, first you create your habits, then your habits create you. Track your progress. What gets measured gets improved. Write down your habits daily, even just a check mark when you complete them. This creates accountability and satisfaction. Some people use habit tracking apps or journals. Others use a simple calendar. The method doesn't matter. The consistency does. Each checkmark is proof that you're becoming more disciplined. Replace guilt with growth. When you fail to stick to a habit, don't feel guilty, learn from it. Ask yourself, what triggered me to stop? How can I make it easier next time? What lesson can I take from this? Guilt drains energy. Learning gives power. Discipline isn't about being perfect, it's about getting better every time you fall. The habit of reflection. Once a week, take a few minutes to reflect. Which habits are helping me grow? Which habits are holding me back? What adjustments can I make? This keeps you conscious of your progress. Without reflection, habits can become mindless, and mindless living kills growth. Awareness turns habits into tools of transformation. The unseen power of habit. The strongest habits are not the loudest ones. They're quiet, built in the background, shaping who you become. The person who reads every day grows wiser without noticing. The person who saves a little money daily becomes financially free over time. The person who wakes up early each morning wins hours others waste. That's the power of habit. It works silently, but the results speak loudly. Final thought. Build habits that build you. Discipline isn't about controlling every moment of your life. It's about designing a system that supports your best self. Your habits are either pulling you up or dragging you down. There's no middle ground. So ask yourself today, are my habits serving my goals or stealing them? Then start changing, one habit at a time. Because when you master your habits, you master your days. And when you master your days, you master your life. Chapter 10. How to stay focused in a distracted world. We live in the most distracted time in human history. Our attention, once our greatest tool, is now constantly under attack. Every beep, every vibration, every notification pulls us away from our goals. We live surrounded by screens, noise, and endless temptation for instant pleasure. And in this chaos, the rarest skill of all is focus. Because focus is the new superpower of the disciplined mind. The price of distraction. Distraction is not just harmless entertainment, it's a thief. It steals your time, your energy, and your dreams, one notification at a time. Most people don't lose their focus in big moments. They lose it in small ones. 5 minutes of scrolling here, a few messages there, a quick check that turns into an hour. The cost is invisible, but it's enormous. Every time you lose focus, your mind has to restart. Studies show it takes about 23 minutes to fully regain concentration after an interruption. Imagine how much potential is lost every day. Distraction doesn't look dangerous. That's why it's deadly. Focus is a muscle. Focus is not something you either have or don't have. It's a muscle, and like any muscle, it grows with training and weakens with neglect. The more you let your mind wander, the harder it becomes to stay focused. But the more you train your attention, the sharper it becomes. You build focus the same way you build strength, through consistency and challenge. Start by doing one thing at a time. Set short, uninterrupted focus periods, 20 to 30 minutes. Gradually increase the length as your mental stamina improves. Focus grows slowly, but it becomes unshakable once it's strong. The enemy, the dopamine trap. Every time you check your phone, scroll social media, or open a notification, your brain releases dopamine, a chemical that makes you feel rewarded. The more you do it, the more your brain starts craving that quick hit of pleasure. Soon, deep work, reading, writing, studying, or exercising feels boring in comparison. That's why discipline requires dopamine control. You must train your brain to enjoy effort, not distraction. The goal is not to remove pleasure from your life, it's to stop being controlled by it. Digital discipline. Take control of your devices. Your phone is not your enemy, it's your tool. But like any tool, you must control it before it controls you. Here's how to build digital discipline. Turn off all non-essential notifications. You don't need an alert for every like, message, or post. Use Do Not Disturb mode during work or study. Protect your mental space like a sacred temple. Keep your phone out of reach when focusing. Even seeing it on your desk weakens concentration. Schedule social media time. Use it with intention, not addiction. Have phone-free zones. No phones at meals or in bed or during deep work. The goal is not to live without technology, it's to use it consciously, not compulsively. Create a focus-friendly environment. Your environment shapes your behavior more than your willpower does. If you want to stay focused, make your surroundings work for you. Keep your workspace clean and minimal. Remove visual distractions, no random tabs, no clutter. Play soft background music or white noise if it helps. Keep only the tools you need for the task at hand. Your environment should tell your mind, this is a place of focus. The power of deep work. Deep work means focusing without distraction on a demanding task. It's where creativity, problem-solving, and progress happen. Most people live in shallow work, switching from one task to another, never fully present. Deep work is what separates the average from the exceptional. To practice deep work, set a clear intention. Know exactly what you're working on. Eliminate all distractions. Phone away, notifications off. Work in time blocks, 60 to 90 minutes of full focus. Take short breaks. Rest your mind, then dive back in. Deep work requires effort, but it creates results that ordinary effort never will. Shallow effort creates temporary success. Deep focus creates lasting mastery. Learn to say no. Every yes to distraction is a no to your goals. You cannot please everyone and still live with purpose. You cannot chase every opportunity and still make progress. Discipline often means saying no to invitations, comfort, and even to people who waste your time. Be kind, but be firm. Your focus is sacred. Protect it like a warrior. Guard your mental energy. Distraction is not just harmless entertainment, it's a thief. It steals your time, your energy, and your dreams, one notification at a time. Most people don't lose their focus in big moments. They lose it in small ones. 5 minutes of scrolling here, a few messages there, a quick check that turns into an hour. The cost is invisible, but it's enormous. Every time you lose focus, your mind has to restart. Studies show it takes about 23 minutes to fully regain concentration after an interruption. Imagine how much potential is lost every day. Distraction doesn't look dangerous. That's why it's deadly. Focus is a muscle. Focus is not something you either have or don't have. It's a muscle. And like any muscle, it grows with training and weakens with neglect. The more you let your mind wander, the harder it becomes to stay focused. But the more you train your attention, the sharper it becomes. You build focus the same way you build strength, through consistency and challenge. Start by doing one thing at a time. Set short, uninterrupted focus periods, 20 to 30 minutes. Gradually increase the length as your mental stamina improves. Focus grows slowly, but it becomes unshakable once it's strong. The enemy, the dopamine trap. Every time you check your phone, scroll social media, or open a notification, your brain releases dopamine, a chemical that makes you feel rewarded. The more you do it, the more your brain starts craving that quick hit of pleasure. Soon, deep work, reading, writing, studying, or exercising feels boring in comparison. That's why discipline requires dopamine control. You must train your brain to enjoy effort, not distraction. The goal is not to remove pleasure from your life, it's to stop being controlled by it. Digital discipline. Take control of your devices. Your phone is not your enemy, it's your tool. But like any tool, you must control it before it controls you. Here's how to build digital discipline. Turn off all non-essential notifications. You don't need an alert for every like, message, or post. Use Do Not Disturb mode during work or study. Protect your mental space like a sacred temple. Keep your phone out of reach when focusing. Even seeing it on your desk weakens concentration. Schedule social media time. Use it with intention, not addiction. Have phone-free zones. No phones at meals or in bed or during deep work. The goal is not to live without technology, it's to use it consciously, not compulsively. Create a focus-friendly environment. Your environment shapes your behavior more than your willpower does. If you want to stay focused, make your surroundings work for you. Keep your workspace clean and minimal. Remove visual distractions, no random tabs, no clutter. Play soft background music or white noise if it helps. Keep only the tools you need for the task at hand. Your environment should tell your mind, this is a place of focus. The power of deep work. Deep work means focusing without distraction on a demanding task. It's where creativity, problem-solving, and progress happen. Most people live in shallow work, switching from one task to another, never fully present. Deep work is what separates the average from the exceptional. To practice deep work, set a clear intention. Know exactly what you're working on. Eliminate all distractions. Phone away, notifications off. Work in time blocks, 60 to 90 minutes of full focus. Take short breaks, rest your mind, then dive back in. Deep work requires effort, but it creates results that ordinary effort never will. Shallow effort creates temporary success. Deep focus creates lasting mastery. Learn to say no. Every yes to distraction is a no to your goals. You cannot please everyone and still live with purpose. You cannot chase every opportunity and still make progress. Discipline often means saying no to invitations, comfort, and even to people who waste your time. Be kind, but be firm. Your focus is sacred. Protect it like a warrior. Guard your mental energy. Focus is not only about time, it's about energy. You can't stay disciplined if your mind is tired and scattered. Get enough sleep. Exhaustion kills focus. Eat clean food. Sugar highs destroy mental clarity. Move daily. Physical energy fuels mental energy. Meditate or breathe deeply. Calm your thoughts and regain control. A focused mind lives inside a disciplined body. The art of single-tasking. In a world that praises multitasking, the disciplined person does one thing at a time and does it well. Multitasking makes you feel productive but actually weakens performance. It splits your attention and increases mistakes. When you do one thing with full attention, you enter a flow state, a zone of deep concentration where time disappears and performance rises. Train yourself to finish what you start before jumping to something new. Completion builds confidence, and confidence strengthens discipline. Focus is freedom. Most people think discipline limits freedom, but true freedom comes from focus. When you can control your attention, you can control your life. You stop reacting to every distraction. You stop letting others steal your time. You start creating, learning, and living with purpose. Focus frees you from chaos. Focus gives you peace. A focused mind is a powerful mind. A distracted mind is a prisoner. Final thought: be the master of your attention. The modern world will keep fighting for your attention, but the most successful and peaceful people are those who have learned to control it. You don't need to escape technology, you just need to rise above it. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be intentional. From now on, every time you choose focus over distraction, you strengthen your discipline. Every time you choose depth over noise, you build your future. Because in a world where everyone is distracted, the one who can focus wins. Chapter 8. Discipline in the Face of Discomfort. Most people quit when life becomes uncomfortable. They see pain, struggle, or boredom as signs to stop, but the truth is the opposite. Discomfort is not your enemy. It's the doorway to growth. Discipline is not just about doing what you must do, it's about doing it especially when it's uncomfortable. Growth lives in the uncomfortable zone. Think of your muscles. They grow only when they are pushed beyond their comfort zone. You lift weights, they tear slightly, and then rebuild stronger. The same law applies to your mind, habits, and character. Every time you challenge yourself, you expand what's possible. Every time you avoid discomfort, you shrink. Comfort creates weakness. Discomfort builds strength. Most people never reach their potential because they stop at the first sign of resistance. The moment things get hard, they back down. But disciplined people see struggle differently. They see it as a signal that growth is happening. Comfort is a trap. Our modern world makes it easy to stay comfortable. Food delivered to your door, entertainment one click away, climate control at all times. We live in an age designed to remove every little hardship, and that's exactly why so many people feel lost and unfulfilled. When life is too easy, we stop evolving. The mind becomes soft. The spirit becomes weak. The uncomfortable moments, waking up early, exercising when tired, saying no to temptation, staying calm under pressure, these are the moments that shape you into someone powerful. So instead of running away from discomfort, lean into it. The science of discomfort. Your brain is wired for survival, not success. It constantly looks for safety and avoids pain. This instinct helped ancient humans survive, but it limits us in today's world. When you try to build new habits, your brain screams, "Stop! This feels wrong!" It's not danger, it's just resistance. Understanding this is key. The discomfort you feel when doing something hard is not a sign to quit, it's a sign that you're reprogramming your brain. If you can sit with that discomfort, even for a few minutes, you start building mental toughness. Pain versus suffering. There's a big difference between pain and suffering. Pain is what happens when you challenge yourself. It's temporary. Suffering is what happens when you give up and regret it later. The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. So when you feel discomfort, remind yourself this is not suffering, this is growth. Train your mind like a soldier. Discipline is a form of training. It's like preparing for battle, not against others, but against your weaker self. A soldier doesn't stop because it's cold or dark. They continue the mission because the goal is bigger than the pain. You must develop the same mindset. Wake up when it's hard. Keep working when you're tired. Speak kindly when you're angry. Stay focused when you're bored. Each time you do, you're strengthening your inner warrior. Embrace the boredom. Not all discomfort comes from pain, some comes from boredom. The early stages of discipline can feel repetitive. You'll wake up at the same hour, follow the same routines, do the same tasks again and again. Your mind will crave excitement. It will say, "This is too boring, let's do something else." That's the trap. Consistency often looks boring, but that's where the results come from. The gym, the study desk, the workspace, they're not meant to entertain you, they're meant to transform you. Learn to find peace in repetition. Let boredom become your ally. Because behind every great result lies thousands of boring, disciplined actions. The magic of small wins. When facing discomfort, don't look too far ahead. Focus on small victories. If running for 30 minutes feels too hard, run for 10. If studying for 3 hours feels too long, start with 30 minutes. If quitting social media for a week feels impossible, try 1 day. Discipline grows through manageable challenges. You build resilience one win at a time. With every small victory, you teach your brain, "I can handle this." Your relationship with discomfort defines you. The difference between the average and the exceptional lies in how they handle discomfort. The average person avoids it. The disciplined person uses it. They both feel fear, fatigue, and doubt, but one pushes through while the other retreats. The next time you feel uncomfortable, smile, because you found the exact place where growth begins. Practical challenge: the discomfort list. Here's a simple exercise to strengthen your discipline muscle. 1. Write down 3 things that make you uncomfortable, but you know are good for you. For example, waking up early, saying no to junk food, speaking in public. 2. Pick one and commit to it for 7 days. 3. Track how you feel each day. Notice how the discomfort fades over time. After a week, add another. You'll notice that the things that once scared you now feel natural. That's how growth works. It hides behind discomfort. The fire of growth. Discipline is forged in fire. Every challenge you face, every discomfort you endure, every day you refuse to quit, it all builds you into something unbreakable. So don't run from discomfort. Walk straight into it. Feel it. Learn from it. Let it mold you. Because on the other side of discomfort is not just success, it's freedom. The freedom to act without fear. The freedom to live with strength. The freedom to trust yourself completely. Remember this truth. You don't grow when it's easy. You grow when it's uncomfortable, and you do it anyway. Chapter 9. The Power of Daily Habits. Discipline is not built in one day. It's built every day. Success is not the result of one big effort, but the sum of hundreds of small, consistent actions. That's the secret of daily habits. They quietly shape who you become. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. And your habits are the purest reflection of your discipline. Habits are the invisible force behind success. Look closely at any successful person, an athlete, a writer, a business owner, or a leader. What do they all have in common? Consistent habits. They don't rely on motivation to act. They've built systems that make success automatic. Their routines carry them forward even when they don't feel inspired. They don't ask, "Do I feel like working out today?" They simply go to the gym because that's who they are. They don't ask, "Should I write today?" They sit down and write because that's what they do every day. Habits turn discipline from a struggle to a lifestyle. Why habits matter more than willpower. Willpower is like a battery. It runs out if you rely on it too much. Habits, on the other hand, work automatically. Once something becomes a habit, it requires little mental energy. That's why successful people don't waste energy deciding what to do next. Their good habits make the right choices for them. You will never change your life until you change something you do daily. John C. Maxwell. Discipline builds habits, and habits maintain discipline. They feed each other in a powerful cycle. How habits are formed. Every habit follows a simple pattern, the habit loop. 1. Cue, a trigger that tells your brain to start the behavior. 2. Routine, the action itself. 3. Reward, the benefit you feel afterward. For example, you wake up, cue, drink a glass of water, routine, and feel refreshed, reward. Do that often enough and it becomes automatic. The key to building discipline through habits is to control your cues and design your environment. If you want to wake up early, keep your phone away from your bed. If you want to read more, leave a book on your pillow. If you want to eat healthy, keep junk food out of your house. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your systems. Build systems that support discipline. Start small, think big. Many people fail to build habits because they start too big. They try to change everything at once and burn out quickly. But discipline grows best in small doses. Start small enough that you can't fail. Want to exercise? Begin with 5 minutes. Want to read daily? Start with 1 page. Want to meditate? Try 2 minutes a day. Once the small habit becomes automatic, increase it slowly. Tiny actions compound over time, and that's where real transformation happens. One disciplined action repeated daily is stronger than a burst of effort done once a month. Morning habits that build power. Your morning sets the tone for your entire day. Disciplined people protect their mornings because they know it's when their energy and focus is highest. Here are simple but powerful morning habits that build daily discipline. 1. Wake up at the same time even when you don't feel like it. 2. Make your bed. Start your day with order and success. 3. Move your body. A short walk, stretch, or workout awakens your mind. 4. Plan your top 3 priorities. Don't let the day control you, control the day. 5. Avoid your phone for the first hour. Protect your focus before the world's noise enters your mind. These simple actions might seem small, but they train your brain to obey, not delay. Evening habits that strengthen self-control. Discipline doesn't end when the day does. The evening is the time to reflect, recharge, and prepare for tomorrow. Powerful people have powerful evening habits. Here are a few to adopt. Review your day. What did you do well? What can you improve? Plan tomorrow. Write your top tasks before sleeping. Limit screen time. Blue light steals your sleep and focus. Go to bed early. Rest is not laziness, it's fuel for tomorrow's discipline. When you end your day with structure, you begin the next one with clarity. Replace bad habits, don't just break them. You can't erase a bad habit by force. You must replace it with a better one. If you stop watching TV late at night, replace that time with reading or journaling. If you stop snacking out of boredom, drink water or chew gum instead. If you stop scrolling your phone mindlessly, go for a short walk. Your brain hates emptiness. It needs something to fill the space. So always replace, never just remove. Track your progress. What gets measured gets improved. If you want to stay disciplined, track your habits. Use a notebook, calendar, or app, whatever works best. Every day you complete your habit, mark an X. Over time, those X's become a chain, and your goal becomes not to break the chain. This simple visual reminder builds momentum and gives your brain a sense of achievement. When you fall, get back up fast. No one is perfect. Even the most disciplined people miss a day or make mistakes. What matters is how fast you get back on track. Missing once is a mistake. Missing twice is a new habit. If you skip your workout, do it the next day. If you eat unhealthy, make your next meal healthy. If you oversleep, get up early tomorrow. Forgive yourself, but never allow excuses to grow roots. The compound effect. Habits work through a powerful principle called the compound effect. Small, consistent actions repeated over time create massive results. Reading 10 pages a day equals 3,650 pages a year, about 15 books. Saving $5 a day equals $1,825 a year. Exercising 20 minutes daily equals over 120 hours of training a year. That's the power of discipline in motion, invisible progress that becomes unstoppable over time. Be the architect of your routine. Your habits are the foundation of your future. If your daily actions are weak, your future will be weak. If your daily actions are strong, your future will be strong. You don't need to change your life overnight. You just need to change your day. Build your days with discipline, and your destiny will take care of itself. Remember, discipline is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters every single day. So start small, stay consistent, and let your habits carry you toward greatness. Chapter 11. Discipline and Emotional Control. Everyone wants to control their life, but few realize that true control begins with mastering their emotions. Without emotional discipline, your mind becomes your biggest obstacle. With it, your mind becomes your greatest ally. Discipline is not just about doing the hard things. It's also about staying calm, centered, and clear-minded when life tests you, because it will. The power of emotional discipline. Emotional discipline means the ability to choose your response no matter what happens. It's the skill of staying steady when anger rises, when fear whispers, or when sadness tries to pull you down. Most people live as slaves to emotion. They let feelings dictate actions. When angry, they shout. When sad, they quit. When afraid, they hide. When excited, they rush into mistakes. But the disciplined person acts with reason, not reaction. They feel emotions deeply, but they don't let emotions make decisions for them. Master your emotions and you master your life. Be controlled by them and you become a victim of circumstance. Emotions are messengers, not masters. Emotions are not your enemy. They are signals from your mind and body. Fear warns you of danger. Anger shows you where boundaries are crossed. Sadness helps you heal. But problems begin when emotions stop being messages and start being masters. Emotional discipline doesn't mean ignoring your feelings. It means understanding them, then choosing what to do next. You can't stop the wave from coming, but you can learn to surf it. The consequence of emotional chaos. When you lack emotional control, discipline collapses. You skip workouts when you don't feel like it. You quit your goals when things get stressful. You speak words you later regret. Emotional chaos destroys consistency. And without consistency, there is no progress. That's why the strongest people are not the ones who never feel. They're the ones who feel everything but still choose to stay steady. Pause before you react. The most powerful tool in emotional control is the pause. When something triggers you, an insult, a setback, a disappointment, don't react immediately. Pause, breathe, give yourself space between stimulus and response. In that small pause lies your freedom. It's where you decide, will I react emotionally or will I respond intelligently? A 1-second pause can prevent a lifetime of regret. Discipline over anger. Anger is energy, raw, powerful, and dangerous when uncontrolled. When used poorly, it destroys relationships and reputations. But when channeled wisely, anger can fuel determination and courage. Use anger to sharpen your focus, not blind your judgment. Transform it into drive, not destruction. Discipline doesn't mean suppressing anger, it means directing it toward progress. Discipline over fear. Fear is one of the strongest emotions we face. It stops people from taking action, speaking up, or chasing their dreams. But fear is rarely a sign to stop, it's a sign you're growing. Every new challenge brings fear. The difference between the disciplined and the weak is simple. The weak obey fear. The disciplined move forward despite it. Courage doesn't mean you feel no fear, it means you act even while afraid. Whenever fear appears, ask yourself, what is this fear trying to protect me from? Then, thank it and walk through it anyway. Discipline over sadness and doubt. Sadness, frustration, and doubt visit everyone. They can cloud your vision and make you question your purpose. The undisciplined person lets these emotions define them. The disciplined person feels them, but continues the mission. Some days, your best effort will not feel enough. That's okay. Discipline means showing up especially on those days. You don't have to be positive all the time. You just have to keep moving. How to build emotional strength. Emotional control is built through awareness and training, just like physical strength. Here are simple habits to develop it. Breathe deeply before reacting. One deep breath can stop a bad decision. Journal daily. Writing helps you process feelings instead of being ruled by them. Meditate or pray. Calm your mind. Connect with something greater than your emotions. Exercise regularly. Physical movement releases tension and clears the mind. Choose your company wisely. Surround yourself with calm, disciplined people. Emotions are contagious. These small acts train your emotional muscle day by day. The power of detachment. Sometimes emotional discipline means learning to detach, not from life, but from overreaction. When you detach, you stop taking everything personally. You accept that people's opinions, rejections, or moods are not reflections of your worth. Detachment is not coldness, it's freedom. It gives you the space to think clearly, act wisely, and protect your peace. Detachment is not that you feel nothing. It's that your feelings no longer control everything. Responding with purpose. Emotional discipline means you no longer act impulsively. Every reaction is intentional. Before you respond, ask yourself, will this action move me closer to my goals? Will I be proud of this choice tomorrow? Am I acting from strength or from weakness? If the answer is weakness, pause, breathe, and wait. If it's strength, proceed with calm confidence. The more you practice this awareness, the stronger your emotional discipline becomes. Your emotions don't define you. You are not your anger. You are not your fear. You are not your sadness. These are temporary states, clouds passing across the sky of your mind. When you identify with them, you suffer. When you observe them, you gain power. Emotional mastery doesn't make you less human. It makes you more capable of living fully with clarity, wisdom, and strength. Final thought: stay calm, stay strong. Life will always test you. People will disappoint you. Situations will frustrate you. You can't control the storm, but you can control yourself within it. That's emotional discipline, staying steady when others break, calm when others panic, focused when others lose direction. The one who controls his emotions controls his destiny. From this moment forward, promise yourself, no matter how I feel, I will stay calm, act with purpose, and never let my emotions make me weak. Because discipline is not just doing what's hard, it's staying strong when everything inside you wants to fall apart. Chapter 12: Discipline in Relationships and Communication. Discipline is not only about your personal habits, it's also about how you treat people. Your relationships reflect your level of self-control, patience, and respect. Many people lose discipline the moment emotions or others get involved. They react impulsively, speak without thinking, or break trust easily. But the truly disciplined person shows consistency not only in their work, but also in their words, tone, and behavior toward others. Discipline begins with respect. Every strong relationship, whether personal, professional, or romantic, begins with respect. Respect is not just politeness. It's the ability to treat others with value even when you disagree or feel frustrated. The disciplined person doesn't shout, insult, or manipulate. They express their thoughts clearly, calmly, and confidently. Emotional reactions destroy connection. Respectful communication builds trust. Being disciplined means controlling not only your temper, but your tone. Think before you speak. Words are powerful. Once spoken, they cannot be taken back. They can inspire someone or wound them deeply. That's why disciplined communication means thinking before speaking. Ask yourself 3 simple questions before you open your mouth. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? If your words fail one of these tests, it's better to stay silent. Silence, used wisely, is a sign of strength, not weakness. The power of listening. Many people hear, but few truly listen. Discipline in communication means being fully present when others speak. Listening is not waiting for your turn to reply, it's seeking to understand. When you listen with attention, you make others feel valued. You avoid unnecessary conflicts. You learn more than you speak. A disciplined listener doesn't interrupt, argue, or rush to prove a point. They pause, process, and respond calmly. Listening is an act of respect. It's how you show emotional maturity and control. Don't argue to win, argue to understand. Arguments are normal, but the goal should never be to win, it should be to understand. The undisciplined person argues to dominate. The disciplined person discusses to connect. They know that shouting louder doesn't make you more right. They focus on facts, not feelings, on solutions, not blame. When tempers rise, the disciplined person takes a step back and says, "Let's calm down and talk about this when we're both ready." That single sentence can save relationships. Boundaries are a form of discipline. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out, they're rules to keep respect in. You must teach people how to treat you by what you allow, accept, and stop. The disciplined person is not afraid to say, "I'm not okay with that," or "I need some time to think," or "This conversation is not productive right now." Setting boundaries protects your peace, your time, and your emotional energy. The discipline of saying no. Many people destroy their happiness by trying to please everyone. They say yes to every request, even when they are tired, busy, or uncomfortable. But every yes to something meaningless is a no to something important. Saying no doesn't make you selfish, it makes you strong. The disciplined person understands that energy and time are limited resources. They protect them wisely. No is not rejection, it's direction. It's how you stay focused on what truly matters. Discipline in handling conflict. Conflict is unavoidable, but the way you handle it determines the health of your relationships. Undisciplined people explode or avoid problems. Disciplined people face them calmly and directly. Here's how they handle conflict. Stay calm. Take a breath before reacting. Focus on behavior, not character. Say, "This action hurt me," not "You're a bad person." Use I statements. Express feelings without blame, like, "I felt disrespected when." Seek resolution, not revenge. The goal is peace, not power. Remember, the argument is not between you and the other person, it's between both of you and the problem. Discipline in love and friendship. In love and friendship, discipline means loyalty, honesty, and effort. It means keeping promises even when it's inconvenient. It means staying faithful, not only in action, but in intention. It means showing up even when life gets busy. Discipline keeps relationships alive when emotions fade. Love begins with passion, but it survives through discipline, through small, consistent actions like listening, caring, and forgiving. Feelings change, discipline sustains. Don't react, respond with purpose. When someone hurts or criticizes you, your instinct may be to react with anger or pride. But the disciplined person pauses and asks, "What response will protect my peace and my principles?" Sometimes that means walking away. Sometimes it means forgiving. Sometimes it means explaining calmly. Whatever you choose, let it be guided by values, not impulses. Control your ego. The biggest threat to good communication is the ego. It wants to be right, admired, and superior. But ego destroys connection and humility. Discipline teaches you that being right is less important than being kind, fair, and wise. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. Your calmness proves your strength. A silent mind is louder than an angry voice. When your ego screams, silence it with humility. That's true power. Surround yourself with disciplined people. Your energy is shaped by your environment. Spend time with calm, focused, and respectful people, and you'll naturally become more disciplined in how you speak and act. Avoid constant complainers, gossipers, and drama creators. Their chaos will drain your focus and peace. Discipline also means choosing your circle wisely. Your environment can lift you or limit you. Choose wisely. Forgiveness, the final form of discipline. Forgiveness doesn't mean allowing someone to hurt you again. It means freeing yourself from the weight of resentment. Holding grudges consumes emotional energy. Letting go gives you peace, and peace is power. The disciplined person forgives not because others deserve it, but because they deserve peace. Forgiveness is not weakness. It's the highest form of emotional strength. Final thought. Communicate with grace and strength. Your discipline is reflected not just in how you live, but in how you treat others. Every word, every reaction, every silence, all reveal your level of mastery. Be the person who speaks with calmness, listens with empathy, and acts with respect. Your peace will become your power. True discipline is not in the gym, the office, or your schedule. It's in the way you handle people and protect your peace. When you learn to communicate with discipline, you no longer need to raise your voice. Your presence will speak for you. Chapter 13. Discipline and Consistency, the Secret to Long-Term Success. Discipline gets you started. Consistency keeps you going. Together, they make you unstoppable. Anyone can be disciplined for a day, a week, or a month, but the people who truly succeed, the ones who change their lives, are those who stay consistent even when motivation disappears. Motivation fades, discipline stays, and consistency is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Why consistency matters more than intensity. Most people fail not because they don't work hard, but because they don't work long enough. They go all in for a few days, then stop when it gets boring, tiring, or uncomfortable. They chase quick results, not real growth. But discipline teaches you this truth. Success is not built in one giant leap. It's built in thousands of small, consistent steps. It's not what you do sometimes that shapes your life. It's what you do every day. The myth of motivation. Motivation is overrated. It's a feeling, and feelings change. One day you feel unstoppable. The next, you feel tired and unmotivated. If you depend on motivation, you'll only act when it's easy. If you rely on discipline, you'll act no matter how you feel. Consistency means showing up especially when you don't feel like it. Because those days, The days of resistance are the ones that build real strength. Motivation starts the engine. Discipline keeps the car moving. Tiny actions, big results. People often believe success requires massive effort, but that's only half true. The secret is small, repeated effort over time. Read one chapter every day, and you'll finish dozens of books a year. Exercise for 30 minutes daily, and your body will transform. Save a small amount every week, and your finances will grow. Small habits compound. They build momentum. They become who you are. Discipline is not about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing something consistently. The boring truth of success. Here's something most people don't want to hear. Success is boring. It's waking up early again. It's repeating the same routines. It's working while others rest. It's not fireworks or inspiration. It's repetition. That's why so few people succeed. They want excitement, not discipline. But the disciplined person finds joy in the routine because they know every repetition is progress. Ordinary tasks done consistently create extraordinary results. How to build consistency. Consistency doesn't happen by luck. It's built by structure. Here are 5 powerful ways to develop it. Create a clear routine. Know exactly what you'll do each day. Remove confusion. Start small. Focus on progress, not perfection. Build one habit at a time. Track your progress. Write it down or use a calendar. Seeing your streak builds motivation. Celebrate showing up, not only success. Because when you reward the act of staying consistent, you make discipline enjoyable. Discipline is doing it when no one watches. True discipline happens in silence. No audience, no applause, no recognition. Just you doing what needs to be done. That's what separates the great from the average. They don't need validation. Their reward is progress. When you practice alone, study alone, or build alone, you're forming the muscle of self-trust. You learn that your word to yourself means something. If you keep your promises to yourself, you'll never need motivation again. When progress feels slow, sometimes you'll feel like nothing is working. You'll show up daily, but see no results. That's when most people quit. But understand this, progress is invisible at first. Seeds grow underground before they break the surface. Muscles grow while you rest. Skills improve quietly before they shine publicly. Consistency may not give you instant results, but it guarantees eventual results. The disciplined person trusts the process, even when the progress is slow. The discipline of patience. Consistency requires patience, and patience is a form of discipline. We live in a world of instant gratification. People want fast money, fast fame, fast success. But everything meaningful takes time. Discipline says, I'll wait and work for as long as it takes. You can't rush the process. You can only trust it. Every day you show up, you're planting seeds. The harvest will come, but only to those who stayed consistent long enough to see it. When you feel like quitting. There will be days when quitting feels easier than continuing. When that happens, remember your why. Why did you start? Who are you doing this for? What would your future self say if you gave up now? Discipline means continuing the mission, especially when the fire fades, because even if your motivation dies, your purpose must stay alive. You don't need to be the fastest. You just need to be the one who never stops. Replace motivation with identity. To stay consistent, Stop saying, I want to be disciplined. Start saying, I am disciplined. Make discipline your identity. When you believe something about yourself, your actions naturally follow. You no longer need to force habits. They become part of who you are. For example, I'm not someone who skips workouts. I'm the kind of person who finishes what I start. I don't negotiate with laziness. That's how you transform discipline from a choice into a character trait. Consistency in every area of life. Discipline is not just for one part of life, it's for everything. Your work, your health, your relationships, your emotions, your habits. You can't be disciplined in one area and careless in another. True discipline is integrated. It becomes your default mode. If you're consistent in small things, you'll be strong in big things too. Momentum, the reward of consistency. Something magical happens when you stay consistent. Momentum. At first, everything feels hard. You push, you struggle, you fight resistance. But after time, the work becomes smoother. It starts to flow. That's momentum, the power that makes discipline feel natural. When momentum arrives, don't slow down. Protect it. Feed it. Because once you have momentum, even small efforts produce big results. Consistency builds momentum. Momentum builds mastery. Final thought. Keep showing up. Discipline is not about being perfect. It's about showing up again and again, no matter how you feel. Consistency may not give you glory today, but it will give you greatness tomorrow. One day, people will call you lucky. They won't see the years of quiet discipline that made it possible. So keep showing up, even when you're tired, even when it's boring, even when no one believes in you, because every act of consistency is a vote for the person you're becoming. Don't aim to be the most motivated. Aim to be the most consistent. That's how discipline transforms into destiny. Chapter 14. Self-Discipline and Time Management. Mastering your 24 hours. Time is the one resource that can never be replaced. You can lose money and earn it back. You can lose motivation and rebuild it. But when you waste time, it's gone forever. Discipline is, above all, the ability to control how you use your time. The disciplined person doesn't have more hours than anyone else. They simply use them better. Every successful life is built 1 hour at a time. So if you want to change your future, start by mastering your 24 hours. The truth about time. Everyone says they don't have time. But the truth is, we all have the same 24 hours. The difference is how we prioritize. The undisciplined person spends hours on distractions and wonders why they're stuck. The disciplined person spends hours on growth and wonders why others waste so much time. You don't need more time. You need better priorities. Time is life. Time is not just minutes on a clock, it's your life in motion. How you spend your time is how you spend your life. If you waste your time, you waste yourself. If you value your time, you value your potential. Every second spent on something meaningless is a second stolen from your dreams. The disciplined person treats time as sacred, like gold that must not be wasted. The discipline of planning. Without a plan, your time belongs to chaos. Planning doesn't mean controlling every detail. It means giving direction to your day. Every morning, or the night before, Take a few minutes to ask yourself, what are the 3 most important things I must accomplish today? What can I remove that doesn't matter? How can I protect my focus? Writing your plan makes your day intentional instead of accidental. If you don't plan your day, someone else will plan it for you. Prioritize what matters. Discipline is not about doing more, it's about doing what matters most. We often confuse activity with productivity. The undisciplined person stays busy all day but achieves nothing important. The disciplined person focuses on high-value actions, work that builds the future, habits that improve health and skill, relationships that inspire growth. Everything else is noise. Learn to ask, does this bring me closer to my goals or further away? If it doesn't move you forward, learn to say no. Time is life. Time is not just minutes on a clock, it's your life in motion. How you spend your time is how you spend your life. If you waste your time, you waste yourself. If you value your time, you value your potential. Every second spent on something meaningless is a second stolen from your dreams. The disciplined person treats time as sacred, like gold that must not be wasted. The discipline of planning. Without a plan, your time belongs to chaos. Planning doesn't mean controlling every detail. It means giving direction to your day. Every morning, or the night before, take a few minutes to ask yourself, what are the 3 most important things I must accomplish today? What can I remove that doesn't matter? How can I protect my focus? Writing your plan makes your day intentional instead of accidental. If you don't plan your day, someone else will plan it for you. Prioritize what matters. Discipline is not about doing more, it's about doing what matters most. We often confuse activity with productivity. The undisciplined person stays busy all day but achieves nothing important. The disciplined person focuses on high-value actions, work that builds the future, habits that improve health and skill, relationships that inspire growth. Everything else is noise. Learn to ask, does this bring me closer to my goals or further away? If it doesn't move you forward, learn to say no. Let it go. The power of saying no again. One of the strongest time management tools is the word no. Every yes takes time away from something else. Say no to gossip, laziness, distractions, and meaningless obligations. Say no to anything that steals your focus or drains your energy. You don't have to attend every event or answer every message. You're not being rude, you're being disciplined. Your no protects your purpose. Avoid the trap of distraction. In the modern world, distraction is the enemy of discipline. Your phone, social media, notifications all fight for your attention. Every time you check your phone unnecessarily, you lose focus, and focus takes time to rebuild. The disciplined person builds barriers around their attention. Turn off notifications. Set specific times to check messages. Create phone-free zones while working or studying. Because every distraction costs more than just time. It costs momentum. Discipline and the power of focus. The mind is like sunlight. When spread wide, it warms. When focused, it burns. Focus turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. To stay focused, train yourself to do one thing at a time. Multitasking is a myth. It only divides your attention. When you're working, just work. When you're resting, just rest. When you're with someone, be fully present. That's real discipline and real peace. Create routines that serve you. Success is built on structure. A strong routine removes the need for constant decisions. It turns discipline into habit. Morning and evening routines are especially powerful. A strong morning routine sets the tone for the day. Wake up early, move your body, plan your tasks, and feed your mind. An intentional evening routine closes the day with peace. Review what you did, prepare for tomorrow, and disconnect from screens. When your day has rhythm, your life gains direction. Routines create freedom, not restriction. Don't confuse rest with laziness. Discipline is not working endlessly. Even machines need rest, and so do you. Rest is part of discipline. It recharges your energy and sharpens your focus. But here's the key difference. Rest with purpose refuels you. Laziness drains you even more. Plan your rest the same way you plan your work. Enjoy it fully, then return to your mission refreshed. Track your time. What gets measured gets managed. For 1 week, track where your time actually goes. You might be shocked at how much disappears into meaningless scrolling or idle talk. Once you see the truth, take back control. Cut out what doesn't serve you. Replace it with something that builds you. Awareness is the first step toward mastery. Time and consistency are partners. Consistency turns time into transformation. When you use your hours wisely every day, success becomes inevitable. It's not about massive change in one day, it's about steady progress daily. The disciplined person respects every hour because they understand this. If I waste 1 hour a day, that's 365 hours a year, over 15 full days lost. Small changes in time management create huge changes in life. Eliminate the non-essentials. Minimalism is not just about owning less, it's about doing less of what doesn't matter. Simplify your schedule. Delete useless commitments. Say goodbye to constant urgency. When you remove clutter from your time, you make space for clarity. That's how focus and peace grow. Every minute counts. Some people wait for the perfect moment to start something important, but there is no perfect time, only now. Those who wait for perfect conditions never begin. Those who act today always move forward. Start small. Use the 5-minute rule. If it takes less than 5 minutes, do it now. This tiny discipline keeps your life clean, organized, and efficient. Final thought. Guard your hours like treasure. Time is your most valuable currency. Spend it with purpose. One day you'll look back and realize that every success, every change, every dream was built by how you used your hours. Don't waste them on things or people that don't matter. Don't trade your future for short-term comfort. You can always make more money. You can never make more time. So use your 24 hours like a warrior of purpose. Live each day with clarity, focus, and intention. Because when you master your time, you master your life. Chapter 15. The Lifetime Habit Making Discipline Who You Are. Discipline is not a phase. It's not something you practice for a week, a month, or even a year. Discipline is who you become, the foundation of every success, every relationship, and every achievement in your life. By now, you've learned about habits, focus, emotional control, consistency, relationships, and time management. But the ultimate goal is to internalize discipline so it becomes effortless, automatic, and unstoppable. Discipline is a lifestyle, not a task. Most people treat discipline like a chore, something they do when they feel motivated. The disciplined person does not think that way. Discipline is a lifestyle. It's woven into every choice you make. It shapes your mornings, your work, your words, and your reactions. When discipline becomes your identity, you no longer have to push yourself constantly. Your routines, habits, and choices naturally align with who you are. You don't need willpower every day. You just need to be disciplined by default. The habit of self-respect. Discipline begins with self-respect. You cannot take your goals seriously if you don't take yourself seriously. Every time you show up for your body, your mind, and your responsibilities, you reinforce a simple truth. I am worth effort. I am worth commitment. This self-respect fuels every other form of discipline, from time management to emotional control. Without it, habits fail and consistency crumbles. Make discipline automatic. The ultimate freedom is automatic discipline. When your habits, routines, and responses become instinctive, you no longer fight yourself every day. You wake up early without thinking. You start work without procrastination. You resist distractions without effort. You handle emotions without losing control. This level of mastery is achieved by repetition, focus, and commitment over months, then years. Discipline is not magic. It's persistence until effort becomes effortless. The role of identity in discipline. Your habits are a reflection of your identity. If you see yourself as a lazy or undisciplined person, your actions will match that belief. To change your behavior, first change who you believe you are. Say to yourself, I am disciplined. I am consistent. I choose focus over distraction. I am in control of my emotions and my time. Your actions will follow your identity. Your mind will stop resisting. Discipline becomes natural, part of your DNA. You don't need willpower every day. You just need to be disciplined by default. The habit of self-respect. Discipline begins with self-respect. You cannot take your goals seriously if you don't take yourself seriously. Every time you show up for your body, your mind, and your responsibilities, you reinforce a simple truth. I am worth effort. I am worth commitment. This self-respect fuels every other form of discipline, from time management to emotional control. Without it, habits fail and consistency crumbles. Make discipline automatic. The ultimate freedom is automatic discipline. When your habits, routines, and responses become instinctive, you no longer fight yourself every day. You wake up early without thinking. You start work without procrastination. You resist distractions without effort. You handle emotions without losing control. This level of mastery is achieved by repetition, focus, and commitment over months, then years. Discipline is not magic. It's persistence until effort becomes effortless. The role of identity in discipline. Your habits are a reflection of your identity. If you see yourself as a lazy or undisciplined person, your actions will match that belief. To change your behavior, first change who you believe you are. Say to yourself, I am disciplined. I am consistent. I choose focus over distraction. I am in control of my emotions and my time. Your actions will follow your identity. Your mind will stop resisting. Discipline becomes natural part of your DNA. Discipline is contagious. When you live it daily, others naturally want to follow your example. By controlling yourself, you empower others to control themselves. Make discipline a daily ritual. To make discipline lifelong, 1. Start every day with intention. Decide what matters most. 2. Follow your routines consistently. Repeat habits until they become automatic. 3. Reflect daily. Review what went well and what can improve. 4. Protect your focus. Remove distractions and guard your time. 5. Adjust, but don't quit. Life changes, your discipline should adapt, not disappear. Discipline is not about perfection. It's about commitment. Your mission is not to be perfect, it's to be relentless. The legacy of discipline. When life is over, what remains is not the days you slept in or the distractions you indulged. What remains are the results of your consistent effort, your controlled mind, and your disciplined choices. Your legacy is built on the habits you formed today. Every disciplined choice is a brick in the foundation of your life. Live today as a disciplined person, and tomorrow you'll live as the person you always wanted to be. Final thought: make discipline who you are. Discipline is more than a practice. It is a lifetime habit, a character trait, and a way of being. It begins with small choices, waking up early, focusing on one task, saying no to distractions. It grows through consistency, emotional control, and respect for yourself and others. It becomes unstoppable when it becomes your identity. Live with discipline. Protect it fiercely. Let it guide your actions, shape your habits, and define your life. Discipline is not temporary. Discipline is eternal. Discipline is you.